my first day. Let me tell you about my first day as president of Eibar Football Club. Well, this is Eibar. It's a small town of 27,000 inhabitants, as you see, surrounded by mountains in the north of Spain, in the Basque region. And there is a football club there, which is not the biggest one, nor the richest one, but it's a special team. My first day, when I was in office, I was 34 years old. I had no football background since I studied finance. And I was the youngest president in all Spanish professional football. At the beginning, we were competing in second division. We were 19th. And during the first weeks, things went from bad to worse. We had a series of 16 games in a row without any victory. And finally, we ended the competition in 21st position, second last. And we were relegated to third division, which in Spain is called second B. Imagine my situation in the middle of an absolute disaster. Once you are appointed president, you become the center of the attention, the center of media, and all responsibility is on your shoulders. I still remember those days. And when everything was desolation, it came to my mind a sentence by San Ignacio de Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, who says, "En tiempo de desolación, no hacer mudanza." And that means, in time of devastation, don't make any change. And that sentence stopped me from throwing in the towel, and we continued with the job. Devastation is a word we are familiar with. This is Eibar in 1940. The Spanish Civil War had finished, and this is the year where our football club was founded. As you can see, the town was left in ruins, and the stadium where we play, which is called Ipurua, that means juniper forest, was built on ground leveled off with rubble from the war. For more than 7 decades, our small club played in regional categories, in third division, and in second division. 2 years ago, in 2014, we have this. You can see 2 of the greatest football players ever seen in football history, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. And both have in common that they are playing in Ipurua, in this very pitch. But let me explain you how small we are. This is Camp Nou, Football Club Barcelona Stadium, with a capacity of 99,000 seats. If we take all the population of Eibar, which is 27, we can hardly fill a third part of the stadium. We need 3 times Eibar to full Camp Nou. And in terms of budget, this is our budget for this season, 32 million euros. And this is the budget of Real Madrid, 630 million euros. And we compete in the same category. So the question should be, what are we doing here? Well, let me explain you what we did in the last years in 4 steps that can be summarized by 4 words: vision, crisis, soul, and finish. First, at the beginning, you need a vision. You have to have an ambitious vision to elevate people's general expectations. When we were in 3rd division, in the MAD, we really believed that one day we would play in La Liga. Nobody believed at us. It was a kind of science fiction, and we didn't try to say it to anyone because they would laugh at our faces. The second idea is crisis. We tend to think that crisis is something bad. I disagree absolutely with that. Crisis is great. I think that crisis is really the moment for you to shine. It's the moment to change things. It's the moment to be ambitious and a rebel. I still remember in 2014, we had a very difficult moment in the club. The Spanish government obliged us to raise our capital in 2 million euros. And we had to get that money in 6 months not to be relegated to 3rd division. We had to sell as many shares as possible in order to keep our democratic philosophy. We didn't want to sell the club to a single investor. And we did a marketing and a crowdfunding campaign for that. And we used our soul. You have to dig deep into your soul. You have to know which is your true identity. And you have to explain it to the people. There's no sense trying to be bigger than you are. It is no sense trying to be something different. You have to find your real soul. And we discovered that we were tiny, that we were a small club in the middle of nowhere with no importance, but we were also brave and honest and a team that never surrenders. And that's what we explain all around the world. It was the fight of David against Goliath. And we developed this crowdfunding campaign called Defiende al Eibar, which means defend Eibar. In 3 months and a half, we sold 36,000 shares among 11,000 investors in 69 different countries. The top 5 countries with Eibar shareholders are Spain, United States, China, United Kingdom, and Germany. But we also sold shares in places like Kazakhstan, Lebanon, Singapore, India, Israel, Saudi Arabia, or Uruguay. And we did it because we explained the truth. And finally, you have to finish. All this process is a process of leadership. It wears you out. Indeed, I think that it burns you out. And you have to know when to finish. You may wonder why we did things in that way. Why we choose always the difficult way when we had to take a decision. Even we knew that our decisions were sometimes unpopular, controversial, or painful. I think that we, individuals, all of us, we are shaped by our circumstances and by the people that had influenced on us. Unfortunately, when I was 16 years old, I saw both my brother and my father suffering a long and painful illness at home. At the end of that process, both of them died. I still remember that even in the worst circumstances, you can act with serenity. They showed me that when you know that your life is finishing, you can act with integrity and that you can inspire others. 2 years later, when I went to university in Bilbao, I met a professor called Roman Garate. He's a Jesuit and he taught philosophy. He had been a friend of my father, and I used to visit his office 2 or 3 times a week. We talked a lot about everything, and he showed me the hidden strength of forgiveness, of hope, and he showed me how important it is to live with courage. To live with courage in life, because once you decide to live in courage, you assume defeat, you assume criticism, you assume envy, and even betrayal, like a normal part of life. And in that moment is when you reach the detachment, what San Ignacio told indiferencia. And let me read you a poem. I will read it in Spanish, and you have it there in English. He says, es necesario hacernos indiferentes a todas las cosas, de tal manera que no queremos de nosotros más salud que enfermedad, la riqueza a la pobreza, el honor que deshonor, larga vida que corta, eligiendo siempre aquello que nos lleve a la consecución de nuestra misión. If I could go back when I was 34 years old, go to that office, look at the eyes of that young boy with no football experience, and I ask, was I the right person for that process, for that project? And now I have the answer for that question. No one is the right person, but anyone at the same time can be the right person. The key is not success or failure. The key is courage. As Rudyard Kipling said in his famous poem, If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves, to make a trap for fools, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you will be a man. Actually, any of us can decide to live with courage. That's up to us. That's the key to a real and full life. Living with courage is not about living without fear. I have fear, so do all of us. Living with courage is about facing up your fears and trying to make a step forward when it's the necessary moment. Courage, taken to the extreme, implies also accepting the end as a natural part of our lives. You need to bring things to an end. and you need to disappear. Because it's when you disappear, when you remain in the collective memory the longest. All seasons end, all presidents finish, and all speeches come to an end. And on that note, I think it's time to me to go. Thank you very much.